Melody didn't pay much attention to the odd interaction between Martell and Stormy, two people from completely different worlds in her life. It seemed harmless at first, but something about the way they spoke to each other didn't sit right with her. Celebrity Insider News. Martell, already known for being shady, had started acting unusually secretive, showing up late to work, missing calls, and coming up with evasive excuses that Melody couldn't shake off. Events that should have been about support instead turned into Stormy lingering around too long, and Melody's gut told her something wasn't adding up. Then there was Stormy, who seemed to cozy up to Martell in a way that felt off. She would sneakily grab his phone, deleting texts almost immediately, making Martell jumpy whenever she was nearby. One night, Melody caught a glimpse of a questionable text exchange, a message that wasn't entirely clear, but had a tone that felt too personal for comfort. This was the first solid indication that her instincts were correct, and she began to piece together small, seemingly insignificant details she had overlooked before. As Melody dug deeper, it became impossible to ignore. The secretive behavior, the strange interactions, everything pointed to something more than mere coincidence. Melody couldn't shake the feeling that something was happening right under her nose, and her once trusting relationship with Martell began to unravel. It painted a clear and troubling picture, and things escalated when a friend, who had witnessed the situation but remained loyal enough to speak up, revealed critical details. Instances where Martell and Stormy appeared far too close, doing things Melody had never noticed before. Then came the messages, text screenshots that were undeniable, leaving no room for doubt. Melody's friend provided proof that confirmed her worst fears. Stormy and Martell had crossed some serious boundaries, betraying not only trust, but respect. Melody was deeply shaken by the emotional fallout, not just from her husband's betrayal, but from losing faith in someone she once considered a close friend. Stormy wasn't simply an acquaintance. She was part of Melody's inner circle, someone who had seen her at her most vulnerable. The betrayal cut deep, and Melody knew she couldn't ignore it. She confronted Martell head-on, laying out the evidence and refusing to let him spin his way out of it. This wasn't just about a damaged marriage, it was about shattered trust. Stormy's actions, once hidden, had revealed the lengths she would go to deceive someone she once called a friend. Melody faced the truth head-on, determined to hold both Martell and Stormy accountable, and refusing to let them undermine everything she had built. The exchange was intense, filled with raw emotions and unfiltered truths. Martell tried to offer excuses, but the evidence was too damning to ignore. Every story has two sides, and Stormy wasn't about to remain silent when Melody demanded answers. What Melody received, however, was a crushing confirmation of just how deeply she had been betrayed by two people she once considered close. Stormy quickly found herself under fire, facing criticism from all sides. Stormy wasn't about to let the accusations define her without a fight. She swiftly responded, first with public denials, and then with encrypted social media messages aimed at countering Melody. Her fast and defensive response sent shockwaves through their shared social circles, stirring up tension and spreading across social media platforms like wildfire. In her initial public statement, Stormy categorically denied any wrongdoing, insisting that her relationship with Martell was purely platonic and that she would never betray a friend. She framed herself as the victim of misunderstanding and half-truths, painting the situation as a complete misrepresentation of her intentions. However, Melody, sharp in her analysis, began to pick apart Stormy's statements, exposing weaknesses in her defense. Key details, like why Martell's questionable behavior around Stormy had raised so many red flags, were noticeably absent from her explanations. Fans of Melody quickly divided into two camps: those who saw her denials as more of a damage control effort than a genuine attempt to clear her name, and those who wholeheartedly supported her for facing the betrayal head-on. They argued that she deserves far better after everything she's been through, and her strength in rising above it all was truly inspiring. On one hand, some users applauded Melody for handling the situation with dignity and grace, offering support by stating she's been through enough already and should never have to endure such betrayal. One fan wrote that it's hardest when it comes from people you trust. On the other hand, Stormy's supporters argued that assumptions were being made without solid evidence, suggesting that the truth may not be as black and white as it seemed. Meanwhile, Stormy herself handled the backlash with measured composure, refusing to be drawn into further conflict. The situation hit Melody hard, personally and professionally. It wasn't just the betrayal of her marriage that left her reeling, but also the realization that people she once trusted had turned against her. It made her question her own judgment and the friendships she had built over time. As things began to settle down, one lingering question remained. Could Melody truly recover from such a massive betrayal? Rebuilding wasn't just about her reputation. It affected her work, her sense of self, and the people closest to her. The scandal sparked widespread attention, with both positive and negative reactions. Some fans reached out with messages of encouragement, rallying behind Melody in her time of need. Others questioned why she chose to make everything public, arguing it could have been handled privately. But for Melody, it was about striking a balance, remaining true to herself while managing the flood of attention that came with exposing such personal pain on social media. A lot of women shared their own stories of betrayal, turning Melody's experience into a larger conversation about loyalty, trust, and moving on. These shared experiences created a sense of solidarity, but beneath the surface, the emotional weight of it all was overwhelming for Melody. She filled her social media posts with uplifting messages, using hashtags like Weston with Melody, on Strength, and Next Sisterhood, hoping to find strength and support from others. But the betrayal forced her to confront harsh realities, not just about Martell and Stormy, but also about the boundaries she needed to set for herself moving forward. As she began to process everything, Melody adopted a more guarded approach, carefully keeping people at arm's length. Trust had become a fragile concept, and she knew she couldn't rely on the same people she once thought she could. The recovery process was slow, but it was clear that she wasn't going to let Martell and Stormy's betrayal dictate her future. Instead, she focused on herself, her children, and her ambitions, using her pain as fuel to transform her suffering into something stronger. It was a painful but empowering realization. She had the power to rise above it all. However, the journey wasn't a quick fix. It was a roller coaster ride with its fair share of highs and lows. Melody's first step was to stop remaining silent about what had happened. She began sharing her feelings and struggles openly with her fans, realizing that if she kept quiet, others would control her story. Her honesty not only garnered sympathy, but also served as a source of inspiration for many women who found themselves in similar situations. Through interviews, social media posts, and private moments, Melody showed what it meant to be betrayed and come out stronger. Therapy played a significant role in her recovery. She was candid about seeking professional help to process her emotions and rebuild her confidence. In doing so, Melody helped normalize the importance of mental health care, especially after going through such a challenging time. Her decision to get assistance demonstrated to her followers that real strength comes from actively working to heal, rather than pretending everything is fine. It was a powerful message, one that encouraged others to face their struggles head-on and seek the help they need.